People think about leadership like, well, one day I'll arrive at this point where I'll be this great leader, and really that's not true. Leadership, it's a path, it's a journey. I can sympathize a lot with you when it comes to young leadership failures. I mean, I currently have, even though I'm not a young leader anymore, I currently still have failures. I mean, we all do. It isn't about, people think about leadership like, well, one day I'll arrive at this point where I'll be this great leader, and really that's not true. Leadership, it's a path, it's a journey. We're all engaged in it, and sometimes we're going to slip off to one side or the other. So just being willing to stay in the practice. Leadership, you can think of it like a practice. We're practicing leadership. And so you think about the traits, the first trait I talk about is seeing people. Effective leaders see people. And that's the most important trait. That's why we talk about it first. Because if you can't get that right, if you can't manage to understand and interact with folks as they truly are, as people, with hopes, needs, fears, dreams, desires, all those things that constitute humanity, then everything else you do, any other tactic you employ, any other value you espouse, it's going to fall short. And so what we mean by seeing people is we tend to have a habit of objectifying others. It's just something we do, maybe as a byproduct of our egocentrism as human beings, but we tend to see people only in terms of how they're useful to us. You could think about going through a checkout line at a grocery store and maybe not engaging with the clerk. Maybe you're on your cell phone, you're just swiping your credit card, you're getting your purchases and leaving, without really having a human exchange with that person. And in that scenario, that would be illustrative of seeing that person as an object, a tool, a vehicle to get what you want and nothing more. Mm-hmm. That's how it might manifest, right? But you can see in leadership we do that all the time too, when we think about the people that report to us as like chess pieces. I need a body to fill this slot, and I'm not concerned particularly in my worst moments about what that individual's specific aptitudes or needs might be. I'm just not honoring that about them. I'm just thinking about them in terms of where I can plug them in. And you just can't get the maximum amount of effectiveness out of your leadership when you're doing that. So people respond not only to what you do, but how they're feeling seen by you when you're doing it. Mm-hmm. So ensuring that you're seeing them as a person is it's so important. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing, and I'm telling you, that's the hardest thing, because again, we vacillate often. We have an inward mindset, as we say in Arbinger's work, where I'm completely self-focused on just what I need, to an outward mindset where I'm others inclusive. I think not only about what I need, but what other people need. Mm-hmm. And I adjust my efforts as a leader in a way that allows me to accomplish my goals while honoring the fact that other people have things that matter to them too. That'd be one way of thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that. Seeing the person for who they are. It's interesting. That was one thing when, I got in and I got my platoon. The one thing that the CO said to me was, get to know your men. Get to know your men. That's your job.
Yeah.
Your job is to know them.
Yeah.
Your NCOs, your warrant, your sergeants, they'll take care of the other stuff. You don't know that yet. Your job is to look after your men and know who they are. And that, as soon as you were talking about that, I was just flashbacks, right? So I think that's super important.
Yeah, but it's incredible. And actually it's the relationships that you build as that team leader that you're going to end up leveraging to get the mission accomplished. You're not after just mere compliance on the part of your direct reports. You want them to really buy into the mission, right? They need to be invested in it in such a way as if you give them your intent and something falls apart with the program, right? Something changes in the environment, they have to call an audible. They still understand your intent. They're still invested in the mission. They're not just carrying out your orders blindly. They feel seen by you, understood by you. There's great team ability. Again, they can pivot as needed and still accomplish the mission. I mean, again, we're leading people. We're not leading automatons, and that's something we have to remember.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Tactical Breakdown Podcast. To get access to more interviews just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell. Or, even better, come join us on the ILET network, ILET.network, where you will get access to world-leading instructors, trainers, hundreds of hours of training content designed to change the standard of law enforcement training. We'll see you then.